Alright, what is up you guys? My name is Sai, and today we are here to talk about One Piece's Chapter 1126 full spoilers, because holy crap, do things get a little bit wacky. So, coming off of yesterday's brief spoilers, we saw that 6 of the Straw Hats, plus 1,000 Sunny, actually went missing. We weren't too sure what the hell happened, but this time around we got a little bit more information. It turns out that when Nami wakes up in that mysterious room is laden with Legos all around. I don't know if that's the right way to word it, but the whole room is built up with Legos, right? And that description right there doesn't really give us too much to go off on, but the next bit of information does, because they say that Nami is actually wearing Viking armor. It's reminiscent of something you'd see in a video game RPG with the warrior class. So, with that being the case, I think there is a pretty damn good chance that Nami, alongside the rest of the missing Straw Hats, are actually already on Elbaf. The only thing that doesn't make sense is why there are Lego pieces around Nami. Granted, we've never seen the castle of Elbaf, right? We haven't seen where Loki actually lives or what the Colosseum of Elbaf is actually like. So maybe, at the center of Elbaf, they just straight up use Legos to build their buildings. It's a little bit silly to think of, considering the fact that whenever we've seen Elbaf, it's always just wooden houses and huts. So the Legoland area is kind of interesting. There is a chance this might not be Elbaf, but, I am leaning towards the fact that it is, just because of the clothing that Nami is wearing. Every time we hit a new island, the Straw Hats always get a brand new set of clothing that fits the area they're in. So I think it only makes sense that this is Elbaf we're talking about, but now the real question becomes, how did they get here, right? 1 minute, they're partying on the Thousand Sunny and the giant ship, drinking some green fairy, which is absinthe. They say that it might cause hallucinations, and that's understandable, and that explains why nobody knows where they went. But at the same time, why only 6 of the Straw Hats and the Thousand Sunny? What happened from point A to point B, right? Like, did Loki pick them up? Were they teleported perhaps by some giant power? Or did they simply just keep on sailing and left everybody behind by accident while they were all drunk and hallucinating out of their minds? Which I think is kind of crazy. So we open up this chapter with the Straw Hats celebrating, and Sanji points out that one of the drinks they're drinking is called Green Fairy and that it'll cause hallucinations. It's like, okay, wait, why are they drinking this? Do they have no other alcohol on the ship, or did they just want to try out what the giants are cooking, right? We're not too sure why they put themselves in this scenario. But yeah, this is where we ended up, and at the end of the chapter, we might be introduced to a brand new character pretty soon, since the person who tells Nami to wake up isn't actually seen in the chapter, right? It could be Luffy, it could be Sanji, Zoro, it could be Usopp or Chopper, but we're just not too sure. I am leaning towards the fact that this could just be a new character in general, and that there was like a mini time skip, and the Straw Hats simply don't remember what the heck's going on, right? This kind of reminds me of Zoe in a way, where when we got to Zoe, there was a lot of missing pieces that we had to put together. Like, oh, why is Wanda wearing Nami's clothing? What happened to Sanji? This feels like one of those moments where we just have to get in groove with the arc right away. It's Oda's way of just, throwing us headfirst into Elbaf, and I'm pretty excited. Also, one thing that I thought was pretty cool with the ending of this chapter is that alongside Nami's new Viking outfit is a sword strapped to her back. So it's like, yo, where's Zeus? Where's the climate act? I wonder if on Elbaf, they're only allowed to use either their fists or swords and shields and, Viking weaponry. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And maybe Nami learns the way of the blade. Maybe we hop into an arena, or maybe we fight somebody, and all of a sudden the Straw Hats just can't use their abilities and they have to learn a new way to fight. I don't know. I've been looking forward to Elbaf. I always felt like it might be a training arc, and if they have to switch up the way they fight, I think that'd be a great training arc. But of course, it could just be a part of her outfit. We don't really know yet, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you think this is Elbaf, or no? Do you still think this is somewhere else entirely? Because it hasn't been confirmed yet, right? So there's always that small chance this is somewhere else. And also, how did the Straw Hats get here? Was this Loki's doing? Was it due to Luffy and, him wanting to go to Elbaf and they just simply blasted away in front of everybody else and they don't remember because they hallucinated? I would love to hear all of your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. So now, on to the next bit of the chapter. We have the red hair crew versus the Bartolomeo pirates, the Barto Club. And holy crap, do they get their kicked in. So we see that when we cut over, the fight has already been decided. Barto is on his knees begging for mercy, apologizing, saying, hey, we shouldn't have messed with the Yonko, please don't do this. And then Hongo, hands him a bottle and says, okay, we won't kill ya, but you're gonna have to give this bottle of poison to Luffy. After Luffy drinks it, he's going to die an excruciating death. Blood is gonna burst out of his body. Barto, without a shred of hesitation, drinks it right away, saying, hey, take my life instead of Luffy's. And turns out that it was a fake. Hongo was just kind of playing a prank on him. He was testing his allegiance to Luffy. That makes Shanks really happy, so they end up letting Barto go. But there was one person who did not let Bartolomeo slide, and that guy was Yasopp. Brother, what is going on? So yeah, after this whole confrontation with the poison, the red hair crew let the going Luffy senpai and Barto sail away. Barto, okay, he kind of asked for it in this regard, but Barto says, oh, that Shanks guy is really naive. I can't believe it just let us get away. And it's like, okay, Barto's kind of like pushing his luck a little bit, but thankfully Shanks can't hear it. But that is when Yasopp walks up. I don't think he heard what Barto said, but Yasopp walks past Shanks and Ben Beckman, who are smiling because, Barto's such a great crewmate for Luffy. And Yasopp says, hey, business is business. Shoots the going Luffy senpai and destroys it. Brother, what is going on here? So this is crazy on a lot of different fronts, right? The first thing I'm wondering is whether or not Shanks was cool with this. Because Shanks didn't give an order to destroy it, at least not on screen. So was this Yasopp just taking charge for a second? And then the second thing is, what the heck did Yasopp shoot at these guys? Last we saw, Yasopp just had a rifle. The guy just has a rifle. What did he shoot? A cannonball? What does he have? Explosive rounds? Yeah, I mean, Usopp definitely needs to get to his dad's level. I don't know how that's going to be possible. Imagine Usopp just shooting his slingshot, his Kabuto, and then it destroys an entire ship, right? I just can't envision that happening. But I love that Oda did this. We're entering Elbaf. Everybody sees Elbaf and they think about Usopp right away because it ties to his dream and how Usopp wants to become a brave warrior of the sea. So people are expecting some nice Usopp upgrades on this island. So seeing Yasopp pull off a feat like this is just very fitting. I personally viewed this as not only a great way to hype up Yasopp, but Usopp as well. I want to see this, dude. I want to see what Yasopp did to these guys. We do know that it is possible to coat bullets in hockey, so I wonder if Yasopp utilized that. But, in Volume 4 Billion, Oda didn't say that Yasopp had this specifically. He said that this was an ability that Ben Beckman had. So, that is left to be seen. But either way, Yasopp simply shoots the going Luffy senpai ship, and it just blows up, which I think is a crazy feat in and of itself. Yes, the ship can't exactly fight back, but still, destroying a ship is always going to be an impressive feat no matter what. And it just goes to show that in this final damn saga, ships are not safe. Law's ship is gone, Kid's ship is gone, Barto's ship is gone, and they're going to have to find a carpenter to build them a new one, which is going to be kind of fascinating, right? Now that the going Luffy is gone, what's going to be his next ship? Maybe the going Luffy Gear 5th senpai? Maybe that's it? Because the going Luffy senpai is literally just a figurehead of Luffy and the other Straw Hats. So maybe now that he needs to build a new one, he uses Gear 5th Luffy. I think that'd be pretty sick, but that is yet to be seen, right? So from the way the spoilers make it sound, we don't actually see any of the Barto versus Shanks fight, which I think is a little bit unfortunate because I do want to see how Shanks was able to break the barrier. I mean, of course, it was due to hockey, but I would just love to see him slash the barrier and then the barrier just crumble in front of Bartolomeo's eyes. I think that would have been awesome because, people, when they think back to the barrier, they go all the way back to Odin's flashback and how Odin wasn't able to break the barrier 20 years ago. So seeing Shanks be able to do it, I think would have been pretty hype. But now, moving on to the next and last bit of the chapter, we cut over to Hachinosu. Blackbeard has just arrived home, and we see what has become of Garp. This man is bandaged up, he's chained up, and he is in a dark room on the island. And I'm like, damn, those must be some pretty strong chains to keep a man like Garp down. But then again, Garp is injured, so maybe he couldn't break out even if he wanted to. But now I'm just curious to see if we'll get more scenes with Garp later on. Like maybe Kuzan visits him and talks to him a little bit, or maybe Blackbeard does the same, and they talk about God's Valley. I don't know. Now that Garp is here, now that he's awake again, I think the possibilities are kind of endless. And not just Garp, but Pudding's here too. You know, with Blackbeard comes Pudding, and Pudding is sitting right beside him. You know, Blackbeard, hey, he's known for having the ladies around him, whether they want to be there or not. And I'm just wondering what Sanji would do if he knew where Pudding was, right? You know, what would Sanji do? What would Big Mom do? That is yet to be seen. But alongside all of this, right, he says, hey, Kuzan, you did a really good job capturing Garp. Kuzan kind of, you know, he's kind of humble. He's like, oh man, I tried to kill him, but he ended up surviving. And not just that, but it took everything I had just to get near the guy, right? So Garp, you know, he's getting a lot of hype even though he, quote, lost the fight. And yeah, you know, he's also turning to Pizarro and saying, hey, while Kuzan did a great job, Pizarro, you fumbled. Because not only did Kobe escape the island, but Moria escaped as well. We all knew it was here. You know, we all knew that he escaped as well, but they never confirmed it. You know, Perona was on the island. She asked for Kobe's help to free Moria. We just did not see that go down. But now, without a shadow of a doubt, we know that Moria has escaped. And now, we're just wondering where he's going to go to next. So I don't know if you guys have kept up with the Vivre card information, but Oda and his team actually dropped early sketches of what Cross Guild's bounty poster, or, you know, poster, was supposed to look like. And in the early sketches, Oda actually included Perona on that poster. You know, alongside Buggy, Crocodile, and Mihawk, Perona was there too, which is kind of a weird addition, but Perona was there. So with that being the case, I do wonder if there's a good chance that Moria and Perona will now join Cross Guild, which is an old theory, right? Ever since we first saw the Cross Guild get together, people were already wondering if Moria was going to join, if Doflamingo was going to join, and honestly, I say, why not? You know, throw all the warlords into Cross Guild. I think it would just make a lot of sense, because realistically, Moria has nowhere else to go, right? Absalom is dead. I don't even know if he has Thriller Bark on him. You know, like, Moria is just by himself. He needs a crew. He needs someone that can protect him or that can guarantee his safety for a while. And I think Cross Guild is going to be that place. And hey, since Buggy is aspiring to be King of the Pirates, I think it makes sense for Moria to ally with him, just so that he could stop Blackbeard from becoming King of the Pirates. So yeah, Moria is free, and I think that's a big W. And now the last thing we got in this chapter that I want to talk about is Lafitte, because we finally see this man after oh so long. People were wondering if Oda forgot about the guy, but no, here he is. Blackbeard makes a call to Lafitte in this chapter, and he is with the Underworld Emperor Umit, or at the very least, he's at Umit's headquarters. And it turns out that the Blackbeard pirates are observing the Revolutionary Army's actions when it comes to cutting supplies to Marie Joie. And we see burning ships at the port. So yeah, there's some interesting things going on here. So it seems like Blackbeard is keeping a very close eye on the Revs versus the world government. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So we do know that Blackbeard, you know, originally, he wanted to become the king of a nation. He wanted to become king of Hachinosu, and he was going to use Kobe as leverage to obtain that position. So now that we have this reveal that Lafitte is observing the Revolutionary Army, I wonder if Blackbeard is going to attack the Revs so that he can, once again, get into good favor with the world government. I could see that being the case, but who knows what this guy's after? Because right after we see this, we get the reveal that Devon, Augur, and Caribou have finally made it home too, and Caribou is about to drop the information onto Blackbeard about the ancient weapons and whatever have you. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in this chapter. I think it is it seems like a 10 out of 10. You know, based on the full spoilers, it seems like a really good chapter. I mean, we got Shanks, Elbaf, Blackbeard. Like, it is everything you could want and more. But yes, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the chapter. What do you think about the Straw Hats missing in action status? Do you think they're on Elbaf? Do you think they're somewhere else? Who do you think did this to them? Did they do it to themselves, or was it Loki? We'll love to hear any and all of those thoughts down below. Let me know what you thought about Red-Haired Shanks and Blackbeard, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Signing out.